Hello and welcome to the Beat Brings Us Together podcast series 2. This week on the podcast I'm joined by Malin as he talks to me about his early life in the orchestra, pirate radio, moving to Malia, and of course his wicked productions and how he goes about making them. And there might be a few exclusives in there too. It's an absolute pleasure to have this true artist on the podcast, and I hope you enjoy. And I just wanted to let you know the second Beat Brings Us Together party is going to be postponed until further notice. You know, with everything going on, it's best to keep up the social distancing, and we'll be back soon. And Cafe Arm is temporarily closed, but again, you know, we're going to be back, and it's going to be wicked. So everyone stay safe, and you know, and just follow the government advice. Get your favourite tunes on, get your podcasts on, get this podcast on, and you know, the beat brings us together, doesn't it? So let's just all come together now, and we can help each other out.
Are you ready?
Hello and welcome to the Beat Brings Us Together podcast, and you're with me today and my guest Malin. Welcome.
Sound man, thanks for having me.
It's like I feel kind of honoured to have you in the room with me.
Really?
Yeah, man. You're such a wicked producer. It's like he's had such an amazing string of releases, and many more to come. Maybe some might get mentioned today. I don't know.
Definitely.
There's a bit of a nod and a shake at the same time, though. I don't know. We'll see.
We can mention some.
Well, I might say it now. You've been referred to as a true artist by
really?
someone we know. Yeah.
Oh, who's that then?
I don't know if I want to say or not. No, it was Sam.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was Sam.
Sam's a geezer.
Sam
man.
Great guy. That's what we were actually talking about.
Yeah.
I mentioned to him earlier before we started recording that we had some nice words said about you. Yeah, great. True artist, man. True artist.
Sammy's a big G, so big up Sam.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming. It's been, I think I asked you a while ago to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's just been a case of
I think it was last month, wasn't it? 2 months ago.
Yeah, man. Oh, so I mean, I guess it's been interesting anyway because a lot's happened since then.
Definitely.
But we won't kick off with that just yet.
Nope.
I think we'll go right back, and to your first memory of music, your first experience of it.
Oh, well, to be fair, everyone says this, but I have been around music all my life. I feel like everyone says that, but...
No, man, no, people have different experiences,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
But it's in a different sense. It's basically I used to play instruments when I was younger.
right, okay.
And then I got into the electronic music, so I'm going back, like, I was probably about 8 years old. My mum and dad took me to, it was like a live music, like, open day, like Dudley Performing Arts
right.
put on this thing, and it's like basically young children can come and try an instrument out, and if they like it, then they get, like, lessons and stuff for free. And then,
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's
like
a great deal.
Yeah, it was council funded. It was actually a really good program, and I really liked the trumpet. So,
No way.
Yeah.
That was my instrument too.
Oh, was
Probably
it really?
the same age, yeah.
Oh, sick.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And I flourished in it. Like, I did really well. I started getting grades when I was, like, in primary school. And then I was joining, like, orchestras, brass bands, stuff like that.
Oh, well.
And, yeah, so that took me up to, like, secondary school. And then I was doing it all the way through secondary school as well. So I've always had that classical background, really.
Yeah.
And then... So I got to about grade 7 on that before I stopped.
That's really good.
Yeah.
If anyone who listens who doesn't know, like grade 7, then grade 8's like the one next. It's kind
it's
of
like the top.
the
isn't
top
it?
one,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I did practice for my grade 8, but by the time I was probably about 17, and by that point I was like, I don't really want to be doing this anymore. Like, I don't want to be playing an instrument and all that. Like,
Okay.
I was wanting to focus on the electronic music, so
Yeah.
that's where the electronic music all ties into it, really.
Well, I guess before we get into that, like you say, you're playing in orchestras.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like for me, it was always like your sense of like this bigger thing, this like kind of community, and it does have resonance
I
with
loved
like
it, yeah.
the electronic music community.
Yeah, I made some great friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun. Like, I used to say band practice I was in multiple bands, so I was doing like a Monday, a Tuesday, and then the school bands were like Thursday and Friday. I'd give up my lunch times on a Thursday and Friday every week for the whole time I was at secondary school.
It's like pure dedication, isn't
Yeah,
it?
man. But it was class. Like, I've done some mad stuff as well. I played at the Royal Albert Hall in London.
Wow.
Symphony Hall in Birmingham a few times. Yeah, been to Italy to play, France. Like, and that was with like school bands and like the council band.
I'm glad I called you up on this.
Yeah.
I needed to hear all this. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we went on a band trip to Disneyland at one point, and we played in the Disneyland like big, massive like auditoriums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it is surreal that I think back to doing that now. Like, I haven't really thought about it since I've stopped doing it, but I have done some mad stuff really.
That's incredible, especially Disneyland as a kid. That's like must be like absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
There's nothing better, is there?
I know. Yeah, look, obviously we had passes and stuff as well to go around and free food and all that. Like, it was a class time.
This is just now a podcast about your classical career.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I mean, that really chimes with me that I can see your dedication in your music, and from that, the work ethic. It's very comparable there. But yeah, so I guess there was this change where you didn't want to. You were more involved in other stuff. Were you just getting more involved into electronic music? Where did that start?
It was, well, electronic music for me started probably year 7. I was in a music class, just a taught music class, like say in the curriculum, and a lad said to me, "Have you ever tried using FL Studio?" Because my uncle uses it, and his uncle was DJ Panther, bass line 4x4. Like, he's like, "Have you ever tried using FL Studio?" And I was like, "I've never heard of it now." So then I went home and I looked at it, and I managed to find a cracked version in year 7. I was about 11 years old. I managed to find a cracked version of FL Studio, and I downloaded it, and I started making stuff just on sampler, like just a couple of drums and like say a donk. Literally, I had like a donk in there, and I was doing donk.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. So amazing. 150 BPM. That's how my love started for it. But actually, thinking before that, I think I always had a love for it because I used to go on Windows Movie Maker and get 2 tunes and put them on the timeline and try and get them to go together. Like, they never went.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But I'd export it as a movie and just play it, and they'd be completely clashing with each other. But I didn't care because I'd put 2 tracks together.
Yeah.
So obviously I must have always had that like curiosity in me. But yeah, FL, like, I still use FL now.
Okay.
And some people say, "Oh, FL's not as good as any other DAW," but I think at the end of the day, the DAW is only as good as the producer. Like, if you know how to use it, then you can smash it. Like, obviously Avicii used to use it, didn't he? And I know a fair few people that use FL still, and it's wicked.
Well, I mean, is Ableton really that much different from FL? You know, it's well,
I mean,
in essence, all of them aren't different. They all do the same thing, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, Logic. I love using Logic for recording stuff live. Like, you'll never beat that.
It's a real linear format, isn't it? It doesn't really have that sequence of flow,
definitely.
of like drum patterns and drum grooves. It just really moves linear. Like, it's exactly how you want it. For that type of situation. And
then Ableton's, it's kind of complicated, really. Like, I can use everything really, but it's just if you're good at using one program and you can do it rapid, why not just stick with what you know? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So FL, I've probably got, like, thinking back to it now, I've probably got like 10 years experience on FL. Yeah. At least. I remember I must have been about 13, 14. I was trying to get like a name out there, and I was like, I was literally like only a kid still, wasn't I? Yeah. And I was messaging people that was like doing bits in the bassline scene around by me. And one of them said, just put your stuff on SoundCloud and just hope that it starts to get plays and stuff. So how old are you this? I was about 13, 14. Oh, wow. And I had a SoundCloud. Okay. So I'd started putting it on SoundCloud, and I wasn't getting any plays because it was terrible music, really. So then I started watching tutorials and learned how to properly, like, actually get a decent track going. Right. And then someone said to me, just start doing remixes of well-known tracks and just keep putting them out there. Like, just do a remix, put it out there, send it out. And I was doing that. I still wasn't getting any plays. And then I got a BBM, BlackBerry. Yeah. So I got onto BBM. In the old memory there, yeah. So I got onto BBM, and I just started like adding loads of people, as many people as possible. Yeah. And then I'd start broadcasting my track. Like, I'd just put SoundCloud, and then I'd have the download enabled and just broadcast the download link. So they didn't even have to go on SoundCloud. They just clicked the link and it downloaded straight to the BlackBerry. And then round by me, people started like listening to my stuff, like they were looking around for it, and I was only about 14, 15, and that was my Ali M alias.
Right.
That
Okay.
was like baseline and all this commercial stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like up to about probably 3 years ago, I still had people around by me saying, "Oh, that's Ali M. Like he used to make all the baseline tunes and all that."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's nostalgic. Like I was literally a kid when I was doing it, so I loved it. Like I was putting tunes out, people were loving them, and it was like in the baseline era where speed garage was still about. Like none of the like dubsteppy sounds or anything.
Yeah.
But I did delve into some dubstep as well. But bassline was always my thing.
Yeah.
And then, so it progressed into like, do you remember the Jack in House era?
Oh yeah, loved it. Like Jack Beats, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was obsessed with that
I
stuff,
loved
man.
Jack in House. It was because bassline was kind of dying out then. Like everyone had done. So it was just
Wait, I'm talking
like
about something completely different here.
What
you
are
know?
you talking about?
I know I'm talking about something else. I'm brain switched off. I don't know. You carry on because I'm talking about something wrong.
Well, I'm talking about Jack in House, which
Yeah.
is like It was like electro house. Like it was like slowed down bassline basically.
Hey,
It was
wait,
like,
no. Well, yeah, isn't that like Jack Beats?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
so
I'm
it's
so
like
sorry.
Lorenzo, like
Yeah, Lorenzo,
yeah,
yeah.
like all them. Like
Yeah,
this was probably about 2013, 2014 era.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. And I got Big Tunes MP3. Did you ever hear of that?
I don't know.
It was online. It was like a website, bigtunesmp3.co.uk.
Oh,
And
wait.
basically, you could upload any. Basically, you could upload anything, and
Yeah.
it sold for like £1.50 or whatever.
Oh, that's
And,
cool. No,
yeah.
I've never heard of that.
And you got half of it. So like it was just basically like a distribution store, straight to
good.
that store.
That's good to get half straight
Yeah.
up.
Jack in House, bassline, all this. Like everyone was uploading there, and it had a chart. And I started getting a couple of tracks in the chart, and I was only about 13, 14. I was earning about 50 quid a week off it.
That's good at
So
that age,
it was
isn't
good, man.
That's
I was
really
doing a paper round at the time.
Yeah.
I was probably getting about £10 a
Yeah.
week. So I was like, "Oh, I'm giving up this paper round. I'm just going to carry on making music." And then Big Tunes MP3 now, I think it's completely dead. Like it's completely gone. But that's what like kick-started my love for actually making music and wanting to put it out there. And then I had someone from Big Tunes MP3 that was uploading to it contact me and say, "I want to make tunes." He was about 30, bear in mind. I was about 14, 15.
Right.
And I was basically engineering for people at that age. Like, I'd been told, yeah, you can just make music, sell it to someone, and they'll upload it as their
Yeah.
own. So, at that age, I was charging about 30 quid for a track.
That's decent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You're proving like age is no
Yeah.
barrier, is it?
Yeah,
At
well, no,
both ends of the
exactly.
spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just age isn't a barrier. Old age isn't a barrier to young
Exactly,
people
yeah.
as well.
Exactly. But I just found it mad that people were contacting me and saying, "Can you make music for me?" And, like, that's what I'm doing now as my job. So,
Yeah.
thinking back to then, like, I would have never thought now that this is what I'd be doing to make a living. But
Yeah.
that's how it goes sometimes.
Well, you know, it's just a well, you're pretty literally doing the same thing now, aren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Like, there's no difference.
Apart
just
from I'm not charging
apart from the money, yeah.
30 quid.
Yeah, it's just 3K now.
Yeah.
Depends who it is.
Yeah, it does depend. It is.
So, yeah, well, that's amazing. What an amazing little story. How you getting into
Yeah.
production?
So basically, I have been around it for a very long time. It's mad, really, to think back on because
Yeah.
I've never really like looked back on my journey. So this is going to like bring up some stuff that I've forgotten as well.
Yeah. So how did you get into DJing as well then? Where did that?
So
Was that
DJing, yeah,
one and the same?
Yeah, so I was about 15.
okay? So a little
and-
bit later than when
Yeah.
you started with production.
Yeah, so I was already making stuff, and there was this under 18s event, and they were putting them on in Dudley at
Yeah.
Code Nightclub. It
Okay.
used to be Hustlers or something. It used to be
Right.
called. But yeah, Code
Doesn't sound
Nightclub.
good for an under 18s club.
Oh,
hustler,
no,
so that-
no, it really was not a nice place. I don't even think it's open anymore. But yeah, they put on an under 18 event on, and it was like a competition event. So they had
Oh,
like
wicked.
6
Yeah.
different people, but they'd done it basically off. You won by how loud the crowd cheered for you at the end. But
Yes.
apparently they were cheering for me, but I'd already left, so I couldn't win. So they contacted
no.
me like the day after, like saying, "Oh, you'd won, but we couldn't get in contact with you because you weren't there." So basically, like the other person won, but basically they brought me and the other person back for a residency there at like an
That's
under
wicked,
18s.
yeah.
So every 2 months, it was like an under 18s residency. I was playing bass line, sometimes dubstep.
Yeah.
But that kick-started my love for like spinning tracks as well, because I was basically like looking for music all the time. Like I was getting back, making some music, looking for tracks that I could play, and I was always listening to a track thinking, oh, I'd love to play this track.
Yeah.
And then I'd be counting down the days until I could play, and then I'd play, and I'd play like 50 tracks in an hour, just try and mix them in as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kick-started my love for DJing, and then I started getting into pirate radio.
Okay, cool.
It was,
you mentioned this just before we started, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, man. So basically, the people who ran the under-18s, they were already on a pirate radio, like they had a slot on there.
Okay.
So then I was speaking to them, and they said, how do you feel about coming on, and you can come on as a guest and do a little guest mix and shout some people out or whatever. And I started doing it, and the more I did it, the longer I got on there. And then he said, well, I'll speak to management and see if I can get you basically a slot every week or whatever. And I managed to get one. It was a Saturday, 12 till 2.
Good slot,
decent, man. Yeah, like a
good first slot, isn't it?
Yeah. And I did that for about a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
But obviously I was only like 15, 16 basically still. So I had to get my dad to drop me off at the studio every Saturday.
Yeah. And pick you up at like 2
pick me
a.m.
up.
as well.
Nah, 12 till 2 in the day.
Oh, sorry.
Like it's daytime.
I thought you meant night time.
No, it's daytime,
okay,
man.
that's better. That's
Yeah,
better.
yeah, it
well,
was.
prime time either way, really, isn't it, on Saturday?
But at first, like, it was pirate radio, and then, because obviously pirate radio is illegal, innit?
Yeah.
So they basically had the antennas took down. So we just had to go onto the internet radio, and that was when, like, internet radio was really doing well, and it had, like, chat rooms and all that. And then they managed, like, towards my last year of it, they managed to get the FM back up again.
Oh, cool.
So it was fair few listeners. Like I'd say it was averaging about 200, 300 listeners.
Decent,
like
man.
per show.
Yeah, yeah.
And the shout outs were mad. Like they'd rerouted. Like every time your set was on, they'd rerouted the text into your phone. And my text
really
would
cool,
get so full because it was an old phone. Like I had to delete text for the new ones to come in. And then sometimes I'd forget to swap it back. So like at the night, you'd have like 50 texts saying shout out to whoever.
just shouting in your bedroom.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that was fun, and obviously that gave me a lot of techniques to then take into like actual DJ sets. Like I was basically practicing every week.
Yeah.
And that was on like just a pair of Newmark like little CDJ things. So when I went to play on Pioneers, that was like blowing my mind. It was wicked.
What was your CD? What was your Newmarks you had?
It was oh god, I can't even remember what the word.
So I started off some Newmarks. I say it's on this thing a lot.
They had like red
LEDs.
LEDs.
Oh right, no, it's not.
Yeah,
that.
But yeah, man, they were all right.
Yeah.
But it was still like you have to print like burn like a CD MP3 thing. Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to learn on those sort of things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you say, you went to your Pioneers.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
But actually thinking back, I did around about then. I did get a pair of belt-driven and Newmarks as well, like vinyls.
Right, yeah.
So I was learning vinyl as well at about 16, just like messing around on learning beat matching. Really, that's all I wanted to do. But yeah, so when pirate radio started like dropping off, the listeners started dropping down. I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. It was getting a bit repetitive.
Okay.
And so I gave that up, and then I think I was probably 17 at college. I was still making like house music, bassline, and all this.
Yeah.
And Danny T, you heard of Danny T?
I have.
Yeah, I was in contact with him quite a lot, and he said, "How do you feel about doing a season?" And I was like, that actually would be pretty decent, wouldn't it? So,
well, at 17 as well. What an opportunity, you know.
Yeah, so
no responsibilities, just get out there.
Exactly. So I was thinking, I ran it past my parents, and they said, well, if you want to do it and you can get paid to do it and you can afford to live there, why not? So for the rest of the college year, I was just thinking about Malia, like preparing tracks, preparing a place to live, and all that. And by then I'd turned 18, so it was sweet, man. So I was like, right, got somewhere to live. Got a residency basically through Danny T. He'd sorted me out someone that he knew at an old club he was working at. So I had a residency 7 nights a week.
Yeah,
played every night. It was
man.
Wicked, man. And
what an experience! And just getting it, that experience.
And it was wicked, man. I loved it. So I did that, and then the year after I did another season, And that was mad. That was 3 months playing every night, basically.
So what sort of music did you play? A bit of everything.
Yeah, it was like the commercially house kind of thing
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
that was going around about then. But yeah, so the 2016 season, that was wicked. That was like deep house, really, like the kind of stuff I like to play now.
Yeah, yeah.
But at first, the club basically started off as a nightclub, and basically like it was all sealed off and all that, and it wasn't doing very well. So the manager said, right, what we'll do is we'll rip the wall down and have it as an open, like, walk-in nightclub, basically. Like, you could just walk in, like an open bar.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just had sliding doors at the end of the night to just shut everything in.
Yeah.
And it smashed it then. Like, you had people coming in off the strip, people dancing on the strip. Like, sometimes it was too busy, so, like, it was filling out the sides. Like, it was literally, like, a wicked place to be.
Yeah.
It was right in the middle of the strip as well, so it was like between all the like pre-bars and all that. But yeah, I did love Malia because that was my first residency where I could like proper test what I was like good at doing.
Yeah, well, it's a real wild place as well in general. So I think there's a big scope for you to like practice. It is like an insanely busy strip of bars and clubs, isn't it? And I guess there's a lot of different music out there as well.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
kind of there is that sort of house vibe there, which
what
is
I'd
great.
say is, even then, it was a lot more urban related to like R&B and all that. So it was quite hard to hold the crowd when you was playing house because there were dedicated house clubs as well. But I always said when they took me on for the job, I said, I'm one of these people. I only play house music, really. Like, I don't play R&B and all that. Like, I'm being booked to play house music.
I think that's a good idea as well because you're playing to your strengths and you're not trying to do something else not that way. Like, you're being honest, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And what they did then, he said, okay, right, we'll pay you for a 2-hour slot. You're going to be there all night, but we'll pay you for a 2-hour slot and we'll get another DJ in to do the R&B stuff.
Yeah.
So if you don't ask, you don't get, really. I'd have probably got forced into doing it if I didn't say, like, put my foot down and say, no, I'm not doing R&B and all that. But
it works out for the club as well, doesn't it? You know, they're going to get a better experience for the guests, and obviously they have. Yeah, the club's packed.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, and that was that. And that's where I ended up meeting my girlfriend out in Malia as well.
I was just got to ask you if you're going to mention this.
Yeah, so I met my girlfriend out in Malia, and we've been together for like 3 years since.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's music literally.
Yeah, it literally brings you together.
Did you meet while you were playing?
No.
That's an interesting question. No, okay.
I didn't pick her up whilst I was doing it. I wasn't giving it the big end. Nah, we lived in the same flats, the same apartment block. Yeah. So so we just hit it off, really.
I get a bit of a segue, but to do with meeting people, I find like I've tried to do a season in Tenerife before. Yeah. It was just too extreme for me. I think I'm just too excitable, man. Yeah. Like to do so, but then Ibiza was good though. I did a good 5-6 weeks there, and then back for maybe like 8 weeks in total. So that was 2 months, isn't it? And I love that. But regardless of my excitability or not, like meeting people who are working there, I find everyone's like a real honest and
definitely
and real open.
Definitely.
Was that something that kind of brought you together? Guys, podcast is going on a different
I'd say so. Like, everyone that I met there, really, I've made friends for life. Someone that I'll talk about later, Joshua Brooks. Yeah. He was DJing out there and he produces as well. And we met out there, and he's like literally my soulmate, music wise. Like, I've recently been up to Doncaster and he's been down here to see me, and we've been making music together, and it's incredible, man.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Literally, like, he was on exactly the same page as I was. Like, he was at the exact same, even, like, he was as good at producing as I was. So, like, we were completely bouncing off each other when we was making music, and even back-to-backs, like, ridiculous, like...
Just completely vibe together. Yeah. I love that. I love that when you find someone you're playing it back-to-back, and you're like, how is this working so well? Yeah. And it makes me always like, I don't want to play on my own again. Yeah. Oh, man. That's amazing. I just think there's something about that sort of just honesty there. It's hard sometimes when you come back home because everyone's got different responsibilities, and you haven't got that sort of freedom to maybe not to completely be yourself, but there's something more guarded at home.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a different sort of
Yeah,
experience. You don't get that
It was a weird
visceral
feeling
connection.
getting home.
Yeah, I bet it
Like,
was. Yeah,
such a weird feeling. But
what about when you didn't go back to the next season, or do you think you just sort of like, I've done this now?
yeah, so basically, like, this was when uni was picking up as well. Like, I was doing more work
Right,
at uni
okay,
and all that,
yeah.
and yeah, it just was like, obviously I'd met my girlfriend already then, and she wasn't thinking about going back out either. So really, like, it wasn't really the best thing for me. And also, I wouldn't have gone back to Malia anyway, because the kind of music I was heading towards after that season wasn't what was being played in Malia, and probably never will be played in Malia.
Yeah.
Because I was playing as Ali M then.
Okay. Is this
And
the transition?
This is the transition.
Yeah.
So
okay,
basically,
we found it.
right.
Yeah.
So basically, in Malia, I'd made a remix of Drake One Dance, and it was a banger. Like it was.
Wait,
a tune.
I'm pretty sure I've heard this.
You probably
one.
have.
Yeah.
It's like it's proper hard hitting. Like it's
Yeah, no,
Gary
I've heard
G
this.
tech house kind of thing.
Yep.
And I'd uploaded it to my SoundCloud, and I'd already had 2 strikes.
Oh no.
And they gave me my third strike. Bear in mind, this was Ali M. I had 20k followers on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Smashing it, like literally getting millions of streams. Boom. Taken away. Overnight.
Horrible.
Literally gone. And then I just sat there and thought, am I bothered about this? Like, do I actually care that Ali M's gone? Because I was working on my Malian alias.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that's what I wanted to be doing, like tech house, deep house, underground house and all that. And then I just thought, you know what, I don't even care. I'm giving up Ali M. I don't want to do any more commercial stuff. I'll do Malin. And it was Ryan Nichols that pushed me to start this Malin alias.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another mention on the
yeah,
podcast.
big up Ryan Nichols. Everyone seems to big him up. But yeah, fair play to Ryan Nichols, man, because he just said to me, I don't think you like doing commercial. I think you're doing it just to get your name out there because you don't know what else to do. I think push your underground, push your tech house. That's where you need to go. Call yourself Malin. Done.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. I've built my SoundCloud back up. I've got about 16,000 followers on Malin now.
Yeah. Well, it's off the strength of your music as well, man. You don't have to do those sort of like remixes and commercial stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it did. Like now that I think back to it, it's quite mad really that I've managed to build it back up from doing like pretty original stuff.
Yeah.
Like I did the Music Is the Answer edit.
Yep.
And that one did quite well. But everything else really has been original now. So
it's absolutely superb, man.
yeah.
It's great to see that transition as well. I guess it's kind of freeing in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't have to concentrate on that anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to think if you do want to do it or you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's good to go on.
I think for a while I'd been thinking I don't want to do commercial anymore, and I don't want to be doing stuff for plays. I want to do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
And that's where it's taken me really. So yeah.
We hear this again and again, don't you? People are there's no right or wrong way. It depends what you want out of everything. But for me, it's taken me a long time to realise like just make stuff you like doing, and then you'll never be disappointed with
definitely.
it. You'll always, sorry, that was such a sad way of saying it. You'll always be like happy with it, but at the same time, again, you might put out a release of something you don't particularly like, and then you're like, I didn't really like doing that.
Yeah.
So just do stuff you enjoy. And
exactly.
You hear it time and time again. There was an interview with Scream like a couple of days ago. Again, they said, "Do you think you're still relevant? Do you think you still want to do this?" And he's like, "What? Any tips?" And he's like, "Well, I just do what I like doing. I just do the stuff that I'm into. So that I'm not bored with it, And if other people like it, great. It's kind of that sort of thing. It's just a recurring theme, and it's great that you feel that way as well."
Yeah. Well, that shines true because basically the most recent Hungarian Hot Wax release that I had.
Yeah.
Before that, I was just thinking, I don't even know where I'm going to go now. Like, I wasn't getting any stuff signed. I wasn't really thinking I'm going to start making stuff that sounds like Can't You See?
Yeah.
And then one day I listened to Hungarian Hot Wax's full Beatport page.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I bought a fair few tracks. And I was thinking, I'm going to make one and just send it to him. And I was thinking, they're probably not even going to want it. And I sent it. And then I had a reply the day after from Sam. And he said, I love this. Let me just give it a spin and I'll see if it needs any changes. And he said, right, no changes. Send me the stems and we'll get it stem mastered. And then before I knew it, it was scheduled in for release.
So sick.
And Sam helped me out so much after that. Like, he's literally, he's helped me out so much. Basically, I wouldn't be working now full-time music if it weren't for him helping me out with signing. Can't you see? Really,
Oh man, he's a legend of a guy, man.
absolute legend.
It's a great community as well. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
like something Ryan Nichols
Yeah.
is part of. It's a great community of artists. And good like feedback between everyone as well.
Definitely, yeah.
I know you send me a lot of stuff. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like he was like, "Does this sound right, mate? It's class." Like,
Yeah.
no comments. I'm sorry
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes that there isn't any.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of annoying when you send music. You're like, "Oh, I need some feedback."
Yeah.
But so much of the time, mate, it's just absolutely sick. So there's nothing else I can say to it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest though. You know.
Yeah,
if there was
well,
something
yeah,
I'd do,
that's the thing. Like, I never take anything to heart when people say this needs changing or add this or take this out. Like, you can't be offended. Everything's subjective, innit?
Yeah, very true.
And the thing is, you can be very biased about your own music
Yeah.
as well.
Um,
And that's a problem that a lot of people have when they start out. Like, they're very biased to their own music because they've made that.
yeah,
And sometimes it's really not the best.
it's good to have confidence,
Definitely.
but maybe
Yeah.
also scrutinise yourself
Yeah.
at the same time.
Just be able to take constructive criticism. Like,
Yeah.
some people that I do some stem mixing and mastering for, like, they'll send me stuff and it's like 50 tracks of stems. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't need 50 stems.
Yeah,
I'll take out like 25 of them and you won't even notice. And I say that, and I say less is more a lot of the time. Like, sometimes you're putting in one sound that could clash with a load of other frequencies that no one's going to hear.
that's interesting. You say this, man, because your style, you do a lot with a little.
Yeah.
And
Like, if you look at my stems,
I'm
I
jealous
need
in a lot of the way,
about
man. yeah. Like, I'm so jealous. It's just amazing what you can do with such a few amount of
Yeah.
tracks, such groove in it.
Yeah.
Such,
Well,
like feeling.
at the end of the day, it's basically you've just got to make everything blend with each other. If you got every element doing something different, then it's going to all clash, isn't it? You need everything to balance out. So I normally just have drums, synths, vocal, effects done,
Yeah.
and that's what I work with.
I mean, well, that's all you need. You need people to dance the dance floor.
Yeah.
Then that's what they need. They need a
Well,
groove.
all you need is the drums and bass.
Yeah, you
for,
do need
for
just
a dance floor.
Yeah,
don't you?
that's it. Yeah.
You could literally just have a kick drum and a little bass line behind it, and people will dance to it.
Well, I absolutely love your releases. I think I'm jealous in the best way because I just buy all your releases and play them. So that's the best way.
Well,
I think
yeah.
that's just called
Thanks for the
a fan,
support,
isn't
man.
it? A support.
Yeah, yeah,
supporter.
I appreciate that though.
Yeah, and your most recent release on Kudos, I was saying before, I just can't get it out of my head.
Yeah,
It's just
it is a
it's
catchy
that,
vocal in it.
Catchy vocal, the organ break as well. Where
Yeah.
did you get that? Oh, well, you have to
Um,
give it. Don't give too. You know, don't have to give too much away.
I
but-
wrote it.
Oh man, even better.
Yeah, I wrote it through on a Rhodes contact like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I absolutely love it. I just can't get it out of my head. That is like the epitome of stuff I absolutely love. Like for me, Detroit Swindler, like
Yeah.
some of my absolute heroes, or like Lorenzo Rhodes,
Yeah.
and like your style is like so reminiscent of that.
Yeah,
I don't know
man.
if it's intentional, but
Nah, it's not at all.
No, like it just
I just like writing soulful keys, and then basically you can just whack a drum beat on the back of it, then
Yeah.
and it works. Like, can't you see that Rhodes little thing that basically carries the whole track?
yeah. Have you ever a bit of a sideways, but have you ever sent anything to like Heist?
Nah,
Detroit Swindles out, because I think your stuff was like would be so cool on that label.
I'll have to have a look at it, man.
Have a look, because they've I know like Detroit Swindle often do like more jazz influenced
Yeah.
stuff, but like their recent releases are way more like stripped back deep
Yeah,
house
yeah.
minimal. I mean, they're going with like, I guess it goes with the times, doesn't it? That you're just gonna
Yeah.
naturally get more submissions of what's
Yeah.
sort of in. But yeah, man, that's just a random
Well,
thing. But
I've always liked incorporating like jazzy stuff into it anyway. Like,
yeah,
the Hungarian Hot Wax release that had a trumpet in it, trumpet
Mm.
solo. I mean, Sam said to me when last time we met, he said, "Who thinks to put a trumpet in a deep house track?"
classical musician. That's who.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, obviously, but Sam's got the classical musician in him as well, because he was doing like percussion in orchestras
yes,
and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we got along so well with like all the classical inspired stuff. Say like
Yeah.
say we're working on a collab at the minute, and that one's wicked.
It's great.
Yeah.
The one I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I
Yeah,
have.
man.
Oh, sorry, we can't let
Stay
anyone hear
peeled
it,
for
but
that one.
it's really good. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
Yeah.
Again, another one. Do you think this is all right? Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say to pretty much anything Malin sends. So what we're talking about a bit of your production here. Like, I know you dabbled in it then. Can you talk us a bit through about your sort of workflow, just a general workflow?
Yeah,
or do you have something that's uniform every time?
Yeah, really.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I feel like basically now that I know how to start a track and how to finish a track, it's easy. Basically, I think of a key. Basically,
Okay.
you have to start out with the key
Yeah.
in mind. Something that's DJ friendly. Then I'll write my drums in that key. So I'll find drum samples or whatever, or I'll find a kick and find out what key it's in and
Yeah.
work the drums around that. As soon as I've got my full 16 bar loop, so that's when every drum is playing, then I'll write a bass line for it. And I have put up a tutorial on my Instagram
Yes.
where I slowed the whole track down.
That
and
was a
write the
wicked
bass line.
technique.
Yeah, I
Really
mean, a
cool
lot of
technique.
people do it. I think I picked that up from a Lapman video, probably about 5 years ago
Right.
on YouTube. And he just literally just went, yeah, I'll put it down to 100 BPM, write a groove around it, speed it up, and it's done. And I did it, and I was like, wow, I'm going to use this every single time. And that works.
Especially if you want to do a faster moving bass line.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
you can really play it in yourself.
Yeah. It just helps with the groove. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the easiest way to find the groove. Like, there's no other surefire way, really, other than slow it down and hear where all your drums are hitting.
Yeah.
But then I'll go back to the key. So in a bass line, normally I will write my bass line to have the notes of the chord, the main chord that's playing. So say it's a D minor, I'll play all the notes in a D minor, and that's how you get a nice groovy bass line as well, because
Okay.
it can just jump around a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll write the synths, and then finally I'll add the vocal. I know a lot of people work around the vocal, but I find doing that I just get too sucked in. Like if you make a track that you can just whack a vocal on at the end, job's a good one, because obviously you're not overthinking the vocal, are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of people think the vocal runs the track and it doesn't.
Yeah, with the bass.
The
bass
vocal
and-
sits
and
on the
drums.
track. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But,
a great way
um,
to look at it, man.
So yeah, so basically I'll have a full 16 bar loop again of everything that's playing, drag that out to the main part of the track, make the intro, make the outro, make a couple of breakdowns, done.
Well, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, well, how often do you produce?
Every day.
music? Yeah. How many
Um,
tracks do you think you'd get done a day?
Well, it depends. For
Yeah.
myself, I probably wouldn't even finish a track in a day. But because I work basically making music every day.
Yeah.
For clients, I can make 2-3 tracks a day.
Yeah.
I've done EPs for people in the day. It's just obviously I'll apply that method that I just said to everything
Yeah.
that I make. It doesn't matter what genre of music I make. Say if it's a garage track, whatever. Like basically, I just do that workflow and it works for me.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
So like, that's a great thing to take away
Yeah.
for other producers. Like, bloody practice and just work hard.
Yeah.
Do it every day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
It is just practice. Like I have been doing it a long time. I know I'm only young still, but I have been doing it a long time. Like I said, I downloaded FL when I was 11, so I know the ins and outs of it now. Especially as it's been updated and that. Like it's starting to actually really become a good DAW now.
Yeah.
With some really good elements in it as well.
Yeah. I work with quite a few people who've used FL,
Yeah.
especially back in the dubstep days.
Yeah.
Like, or I started off with Cubase. I think
Yeah.
I did it.
Oh well, Cubase. To be fair, actually, that sends me back because that's what we had to use at school. in
Yeah,
music.
that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
And I always used to try and find a sample on it.
Yeah.
Because I was using FL at that point then. Like after, because this was probably about year 8, year 9 that they got you into that. But I got an A star in my year 11 like
Yes.
production thing
Yeah.
because it was basically just produce what you want to produce, and I produced a drum and bass, like liquid drum and bass track.
Amazing.
And they were all blown away.
Yeah.
They got it. They literally had it on probably every open day.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Did you ever use Reason as well?
I did try to. That's the one thing I couldn't get my head around.
I think I rewired that
Yeah.
to use the sampler in it.
Yeah.
That's why.
I have heard good things about Reason though.
Yeah, very cool. Just
Yeah.
like it's like you manually
Yeah, yeah.
link it.
Yeah, like
but
hardware.
digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool little nifty
Yeah.
piece of thing. I haven't used it in like 10 years or
Nah.
something. Like,
I don't know a lot of people that use it now. To be fair.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you can make. It did have a sequence, so maybe you can do more
Yeah.
within it. But that's
Yeah,
just not
because you
something I
couldn't
use.
even have audio files in it, could you? You had to
Just
put
a
it all
sampler.
through a sampler. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it developed, but Yeah, I don't know. I used to use like loads and loads of different plugins, especially with dubstep stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just a big thing of like using Massive, and
Yeah,
I love using Massive still.
I love
but,
Massive as well. To be fair,
I'd use so many different plugins, and I was like, I've got to strip this all back. So I try and use what's in the box as much as possible, I guess.
Yeah.
But now you've suggested like Contact.
Contact's a really good player.
Yeah. Is it a great way for sampled instruments to use and stuff?
Yeah. You can sample your own instruments in there. It's really good because I've bought a machine recently,
Right.
and that included like a fair couple of like it had the Gentleman piano, and that's a really good piano, like sample piano.
Yeah.
It's similar to an M1 really.
Right. Yeah.
But the Rhodes are in there as well. It's a Scarby Mark 1, I think. I think it's like it's a model on a vintage one.
Cool.
It's got a fair few different presets in it, but yeah, sounds perfect.
How do you get on with machine? Because it's not something I've ever used, but I see a lot of people using it.
I use it mainly for drums, but it's really good for chords as well. Like you can just put them on a chord, like you can just set up what key you're in, and you can just whack some chords in.
Wow.
Literally rapid, like literally as quick as I've just said. Like you just press a button, chord, done.
Man, I might go and get a machine.
Yeah. Again, Roy Nichols is the one that said to me, get a machine, you won't be disappointed. And I've loved it.
Oh, wow.
Worth every penny, man.
Okay, that's great. Well, everyone go buy a machine.
Yeah.
And Native Instruments come and sponsor this podcast as well.
I'd love that.
Oh, wicked, man. That's so cool. I'm actually thinking I'm going to go to a music shop after this.
Yeah, have a look at it.
So I might go and have a look.
Yeah,
I'm just going to buy like a guitar strap, but it's not as cool as the
they
machine.
should have one in... Yeah, they should have one.
Have you ever used any other bits of kit on saying that?
I haven't got any, but my mates have. Like Joshua Brooks, he's got TR8 and he's got a monologue, Korg monologue.
Is that the mini?
It's probably about this big.
Oh right.
Yeah, so it's
I'm thinking of.
It's basically just for basses.
Wicked. Yeah.
It's obviously in monologue.
Have you collabed with him using that?
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
And that's basically done now as well. So
wicked. I want to hear this.
Yeah,
please.
so that'll be a tune. Yeah.
Wicked. Well, so what? Let's move on to the future. But what have you got coming up?
So I've got a 2-track EP on O Records in Stockholm.
Wicked.
Yeah, that's on the 28th of Feb.
Cool.
That's wicked. That's Just the Feeling.
Yeah.
Is the main track. Being There is the second track.
Oh, I love Just a Feeling as well.
Yeah.
That's wicked. I've been listening to that for a while.
Yeah. Being There is the second track. I do quite like that track as well. I feel like they're both strong enough to go out as singles, but O Records wanted the EP, so I was even happier with that.
Yeah, go for it, man.
2 strong tracks in it. I
think EPs have such a solid stance when they come out.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know why actually. It always just does. People throwing 2 tracks through instead of one, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's worth the money, isn't it?
Yeah,
especially my 2 tracks.
Yeah,
go grab them. Yeah, and then I've got Tom Caruso remix, which is the one that his singles just come out on Hot Wax. It was the first release of Hungarian Hot Wax this year. I remixed that quite a while ago. That's had some plays off James Dexter.
Wow, that's a big plays, man.
Yeah, big up James Dexter for playing that. He played it on his Bleep radio. He says he plays it in sets as well, but I haven't had any videos, so I need to go to a James Dexter show. Yeah, and Kareem played it at Terminal and it went off. He played it at about 4 o'clock.
Did he get a video of that?
Yeah. There's a video of it on social media somewhere.
Yeah.
It goes off,
I've seen this then. Yeah. I was
But-
going to say, I saw a video at Terminal of Kareem, so that must be it.
I'd say that's the best track I've done that's coming out so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone just comes up to me and goes, that bit on that track is so catchy, and it's the bum, 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 bum. That bit, man, like everyone says that to me, and everyone's like, "How did you write that?" And I just literally just accidentally pressed on my MIDI keyboard them notes. And I was like, "Wow, that sounds sick!" And I just recorded it on top of it.
Happy accidents.
Yeah, man. It was
so
a
often
very
as well.
happy. Yeah, definitely. Like I've played weird chords before where I've added like strange notes into it, and it sounds wicked. And I'm like, "Wow, I'm putting that in a track."
This is going to be the next man in chat that's just going to get stuck in my head for ages.
Yeah, it is.
All I keep singing is I'm terrible with lyrics, by the way. I never know what people are singing the lyrics.
Yeah, I'm the
what's it? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I can't get it out of my head. Like it's been playing the whole time I've been talking in my head.
That's had some support off Jess Bays and
wicked.
Kakiri, but yeah, Jess Bays absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
And she's going to be doing like a VIP of it that's going to come out on Kudos.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
it's
man.
such a tune, man.
Yeah.
It's such a tune. Yeah. Wow. Is any exclusives we can?
Yeah,
say?
so I've got an official remix coming out on Glasgow Underground,
Yes.
and that is it's deep house. It's kind of disco influenced, but
Yeah.
it's deep house.
It fits the brand, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's quite slow. It's 118 BPM.
Yeah.
And I wrote it as a similar, like, modern day version of Benediction, really.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So, because obviously Benediction's 116 BPM,
Yeah.
and I thought this tune will be so good, just slow. So I've written a house track basically. It's really slow. So yeah, so watch out for that one. That one will be getting some decent plays, I reckon.
Yeah, man. I love just down tempo beats in general. I think
And me.
it's just nice for, like, especially just, well, not necessarily that track, but just general warm up music.
Yeah.
I feel like someone needs to just do like warm up label.
Yeah.
Like, I just love warm up beats, man. You know, as much as I like a heavy hitter,
Yeah. It's just as important, isn't it?
it really is, man. And like, there's certain situations that don't have, it just doesn't, that like heavy hitters don't fit into.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do any more sort of down tempo stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
I started writing one yesterday, actually. I had a bit of free time in the afternoon, and I just started another track, 119 BPM. So
Yeah,
I feel like the bass line just grooves so well around about that tempo.
yeah. For your style as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of the stuff you do is a lot faster, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess as well. So
Well-
there's that contradiction there.
Yeah, so that Tom Caruso remix, that one's 127 BPM.
Yeah.
Can't You See's 126. I'm Not Crazy's 124. Just a Feeling and Being There are both 122 though, so they're a bit
It's on that spectrum.
down tempo. So I am trying to stick around about there, but for remixes, I've always been told, like, remixes, you can do what you want. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you're putting out originals that you're happy with, you're getting asked to remix someone's tune, you can do it however you want to do it. Basically, as long as it's in your genre. Like, you can't go and do a dubstep remix if you're a deep house artist.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't like to, because like
Yeah.
I do dabble in, like, just making random stuff.
Bring back Ali M.
Yeah, I've had so many people say that to me as well. Everyone said Ali M needs to come back, but I don't think he'll ever make an appearance again.
No.
Nah,
Not
he's
a
retired,
one-off
man.
set.
Yeah,
in Mali or somewhere.
he's retired.
With enough money.
He's still crying because he got took down for Drake.
Superb. Great remix though. Yeah, man. Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for opening up. It's the first time I've met you as well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's great to actually hear your whole life story in music.
It was, yeah. A bit long-winded, wasn't it?
a wicked way to meet someone. I guess sort of like it'd be great to wrap it up with a few more questions, but you've given us so much advice already. What do you think the best piece of advice you give to a new DJ or producer, or anyone really? It doesn't have to be new.
Never give up.
All right,
Because
nice.
I've had so many times where I've thought, I don't want to be doing this anymore. Like, what am I going to be doing? Yeah. And now look at me, like, I'm working for myself, and I'm the happiest I've ever been with my music. So, yeah, never give up. Take time out as well. Like, don't spend all your time in your room making music. Like, I know how hard it is to actually pull away from it, because I used to spend hours and hours, but now that I've started getting a routine where I'm like socialising, going to the gym, it makes your workflow a lot better. Like, you spend a lot less time just fretting over the little bits in your tracks, and you can just get them done, whack them out, send them out to labels.
Yeah, it's the overthinking thing, isn't it?
It definitely is. And also, if you're a smaller artist, aim for the smaller labels, because that's what they're there for. Like, they need the artists as much as you need them.
Yeah.
So don't start say if you're just starting out, don't send a demo to PIV, because 9 times out of 10 they're not going to take it. No matter even if it's like an absolute banger that's guaranteed to chart. Like, obviously it's all on appearance, isn't it? So you have got to work your way up.
Yeah, and it's great to be involved in a community. Of artists in a smaller label.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Hungarian Hot Wax, absolutely wicked label. Everyone in that community is absolutely sound, and Sam runs a wicked label there. Like, there's some absolute tunes coming out. So
yeah, definitely, man. With everything chimes with me there.
Yeah.
Like, especially taking time out. Like, for me at the minute, it used to be like I'd spend all my time on the computer. Now it's just finding time to do it, especially doing this and other stuff.
and like back at uni and that, like it's just finding time. But then when I do go back, sit there, like day sorted, made a new tune. Well, there's a lot of things I need to send to Sam, but I need to go back and like just mess around with stuff. But it's like essentially the idea is there, and I haven't overthought it because I want to do it so much. It's just finding the time.
Well, that's the thing. I find that it does build up. If you say, if you're not doing it for a while, like it will build up, and then you'll go back in the studio and you'll probably come out with like a 4-track EP or something.
Yeah. It's as much as practice and hard work as it is to like stop yourself and recharge, isn't it?
But it's also one of them things that no matter how much time you take out, you'll never forget how to do it.
No.
Never.
No.
Even if you're a bit rusty, like on a mix down or whatever, as soon as you're back in the zone, you'll be sorted.
It's that like you need a creative outlet.
Yeah.
If you, I think that goes for anyone really, but especially if your life rolls around creativity, then if
definitely.
you don't have an outlet for it, I go bonkers, man. I go bonkers. Yeah.
Like when I'm on holiday, like any more than a week, I'm like, nah, I need to get back now. I need to be doing something.
Oh man,
I can't be lying on this beach anymore.
I'm just saying like, maybe I'll book some podcast guests, or I need to make something on my laptop. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap it up with a couple of questions. Then we've got what do you think your best music moment for the past year has been?
It's got to be reaching number 4 in the Deep House Hype chart.
Yeah.
Can't you see? I think that's got to be it, because anything, I can't really remember anything before getting signed to Hungarian Hot Wax, because I think I was just blocking it all out basically. Like I was just making stuff with no heart. And then as soon as I got signed to Hot Wax, it literally like reignited my flame basically. So
that's wicked.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
It's great to hear you're so happy, you know.
Yeah.
Like about stuff.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff in this game, it gets dark and gets you have down days, but it's great to see you're doing so well, man. It's a real positive light for I think everybody.
Well, got to be in, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to stay positive. And at the end of the day, I'm making a living from doing what I love, so there's no reason for me to be unhappy, really. Like, if I make it as an artist, I make it as an artist. If I don't, then I'm still making music anyway, so it's either way for me, really.
Inspiring, man.
Yeah.
Inspiring, really is. Inspiring me, anyway.
Wicked.
I think you've inspired me to I guess how you're saying like Sam and Ryan they inspired me as well, to be fair. But I think I was chatting to you a few months ago, and then like, I think I'm just gonna get back and just writing things I love, and now I am, and it's bloody great, man. So thank you very much. You've been a big inspiration to me.
Good.
Well, I guess the last one, just to finish on one, if you have one, if you don't have to. But what do you think your most embarrassing moment's been?
Whatever.
I guess so.
I can't really
just
think
the past year, but
in the past year, to be fair.
I know Ryan did one. It was quite good. It was like, I think it was just like putting out something. It was kind of embarrassing for him in a way.
Yeah.
He was showing off some of himself. But if there isn't one, that's great.
Yeah, maybe like putting up my press shots, because like I'm proper taking myself seriously then, and I'm putting it up there like I'm posing or whatever.
Yeah, you're putting a face to out there. It's not just your music. It's like it's you, isn't it? Like
definitely.
That is quite a big thing to do.
Yeah,
I get funny about that as well.
But my most embarrassing thing ever, I spilt a drink all over the decks in Mali before in a pool party.
Oh no!
Completely cut off. Shut it off for the rest of the day.
It's pretty KO'd after that, isn't it?
Man.
Equipment.
Like, I went to bed and cried.
Oh man.
Nah, I don't really cry. I just went and had a lot of drinks after it. Like.
Yeah. Oh bloody hell. As if. Yeah, it happens though, man. Like stuff like that happens.
Yeah. It's a learning curve and it's character building.
Yeah. Although I do think like they should have waterproof decks by now.
Yeah, they should.
I mean,
you got waterproof phones, you got waterproof watches, stuff like that. You should have waterproof decks, really.
They're at a club with drinks.
Should start one, man.
I know,
Should develop it.
Just a sort of a cover that works. Like, how have they not done this already? I don't know. I guess otherwise people wouldn't buy more decks though. So
yeah, true.
Maybe there's a fault in it. No.
True.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate. Great to meet you as well, properly.
Yeah, thanks.
And, this was going to be a good podcast. Go out. Thanks.
What a wicked podcast. Big thanks to Malin for coming on and joining me in the studio. Make sure you go to check out his new singles and just go through his entire back catalogue. They're all just absolute belters. I love following this guy's tunes, and I really can't wait to see him just go from strength to strength.
And as always, please, if you enjoy this podcast, go to your Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you're listening, rate 5 stars or leave a little comment. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much. And until next time, goodbye.